What's going on, guys? Coach Omar Zeenni here from ProGK Academy, and welcome to Aviata Sports TV. In episode 2, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to tape your wrists. Now, when it comes to wrist taping, there are a few popular ways to tape them effectively. I have two favorite ways. The first is the basic way like you see here with Joe Hart and Hugo Lloris. This will help stabilize the foundation of the wrist. And the second is how Kasper Schmeichel has his right wrist taped. This way protects the foundation as well as gives you wrist protection for those tough shots that can sometimes bend the hands backwards. Now, before we get started, remember that there are a ton of benefits that come with wrist taping, but if you don't tape properly, you can cut off circulation to that area, so make sure you tape with caution. Okay, so we're going to get started with the basic tape job. You'll need some pre-wrap and some tape before we get started. For this one, just wrap the pre-wrap around your wrist a few times to create a small layer of padding and separation from the tape and your arm hair. Next, make sure to flex your wrist so that you don't cut off your circulation. After this step, get your tape and wrap it around a few times until you feel it is enough and you feel secure. And that's essentially all there is to this one. You'll feel comfortable and will likely prevent any future injury to this area. Next, we're going to move on to a slightly more complex and protected method. I personally like to start my pre-wrapping motion towards my direction, but it's all personal preference. Next, you'll want to wrap around the backside of your hand and move it around to the front. As you wrap, remember to flex your hand backwards so that you don't restrict your movement and cut off circulation. Next, notice how as I'm coming around the gap between my index finger and my thumb, I'm going very light with the placement of the pre-wrap. This is a delicate area, and wrapping too tight in this area will make things extremely uncomfortable and can even cut off circulation. Okay, so I'll repeat that step twice and then move back around my wrist to make sure that the taping is secure. And then I'll push down the pre-wrap just to make sure that all sides are even and that it is ready for the tape. Okay, so with the taping aspect, you'll want to repeat the same movements and steps as you did with the pre-wrap. Start with the wrist and wrap around that area at least 3 to 4 times to make sure you have a secure foundation. Remember to keep your hand flexed backwards so that you don't restrict your movement and you'll have max flexibility. So next is the most important step when taping. Remember to fold the edges of the tape as you layer it down in the area between your index finger and thumb. This is important because, again, this area is extremely delicate and wrapping the tape flat will compress the area and lead to a pinched and uncomfortable feeling. Now notice here as I come around a second time, I am not forcing the tape down. I am gently layering it to avoid any circulation issues. Now, if you're looking for that secure fit, it will come as you wrap it around the lower palm and then back around the wrist. You'll secure it all as you wrap that tape around the wrist, which is the foundation of it all. You'll want to do this at least twice to make sure that you have a secure fit and that your wrist can withstand those shots that push the hand back. Now, as you finish up, just kind of start flexing your hand back and forth to see if it's tight enough or if it's too tight. Now, as you can see, my final test is always to see if that delicate area has space to breathe. If it does, that will give me peace of mind knowing that I won't have any issues going into the game. Alright guys, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 2 of Aviata Sports TV. If you guys like this tutorial, make sure to share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more goalkeeping content. And lastly, don't forget to be on the lookout for some brand new Aviata Sports tape and pre-wrap coming very soon.